9 everyday words your cat understands perfectly well can completely transform the way you communicate with your feline, and the 7th one is so hilarious you'll laugh as you relate to the situation. Have you ever stopped to think how many times you talk to your cat, believing they're just pretending not to understand? That look of calculated indifference while you talk about your stressful day might just be a mask to hide a much deeper understanding than you imagine. If you stick with me until the end of this text, I promise to reveal not only these 9 magic words, but also secret techniques to improve communication with your little furry dictator and make your life together even more special. Before we continue, tell me in the comments where you're watching from and if your cat also gives you that poker face when you talk to them. Let's create a community of pet parents who will finally decipher their mysterious feline companions. The first word your cat understands with crystal clear clarity is food or kibble. And there's nothing more universal in the feline kingdom than this instant comprehension. You could be in the furthest room of the house. You could whisper this magic word in an almost inaudible tone, but somehow, inexplicably, your cat appears as if they've been teleported. It's fascinating to observe how that creature, who was in a deep sleep curled up like a fur ball in the sunbeam streaming through the living room window, suddenly materializes beside you with wide eyes and that insistent meow that only appears at mealtime. This word has an almost supernatural power because it represents the satisfaction of a basic need, but it goes far beyond that. Your cat associates this sound not just with the food itself, but with the entire ritual involved in feeding, from the sound of the cabinet opening, the clinking of the bowl being placed on the floor, to the tearing of the wet food pouch that promises that succulent pâté. Each cat develops its own unique response to this word. Some run in circles around your legs, creating a dangerous obstacle for anyone trying to walk. Others meow at a specific frequency that seems to say, "I'm going to starve to death if you don't feed me right now." And there are those more dramatic ones who pretend to faint from weakness right in front of the empty bowl. The interesting thing is that they don't just understand the word, but they also pick up on all its variations, whether you're saying yum yum, treat, grub, or any affectionate nickname you've created for this sacred feeding moment. The second word that triggers an immediate reaction is play or get it, instantly transforming your sleepy cat into an agile, focused predator. When you utter these magic words, especially if you're holding that feathered wand or preparing the laser pointer, an impressive metamorphosis occurs. Your cat's pupils dilate until they look like 2 black moons. Their tail begins that characteristic whipping motion, indicating maximum concentration, and their entire body assumes a hunting posture that harks back to their wild ancestors. It's at this moment you realize that your domestic kitty carries thousands of years of predatory evolution in their DNA, and the word play is the key that unlocks this dormant instinct. The most fascinating thing is observing how different cats respond in unique ways to this invitation for fun. Some start making that peculiar chattering sound with their mouth, a type of clucking that experts say is an attempt to imitate bird calls, while others slowly crouch down with their butt wiggles, making that back and forth motion that precedes a precise pounce. Playtime isn't just fun for your cat. It's a vital need that exercises body and mind, prevents obesity and behavioral problems, and strengthens the bond between you. When you consistently use these words before starting a play session, you're creating a positive expectation that can even help pull your cat out of that lethargic state that sometimes worries pet parents. It's impressive how some cats even bring their favorite toys when they hear these words, proudly depositing a plush mouse at your feet as if to say, "I accept your invitation to the hunt." The third word that touches the feline heart deeply is affection, or any affectionate variation like "come here, sweetie," creating an emotional bridge between you. Contrary to what many think, cats aren't cold and distant creatures. They simply express affection in a more subtle and selective way. When you call your cat with that sweet, syrupy voice we reserve only for our pets, something magical happens. Even if the response isn't immediate, because cats have their own schedules and priorities, they definitely pick up on the loving intention behind these words. It's the perfect combination of a soft tone of voice, relaxed body language, and the consistency of your affection that teaches your cat. These words mean absolute security. Some cats respond immediately with that purr that sounds like a little engine running. Others make that characteristic making biscuits motion with their paws, unconsciously recalling the movement they made while nursing. There are also those more reserved cats who demonstrate their understanding more discreetly, perhaps just slowly blinking at you, which in the feline world is equivalent to a whispered, "I love you." The fascinating thing is that each cat develops its own language of love with its pet parent. Some prefer head scratches, others love you to scratch that specific spot behind their ears, and there are those who only accept affection when they decide it's the right time. Consistently using these affectionate words creates a positive association that can be especially useful in stressful moments, such as after a vet visit or during a noisy storm. The fourth word your cat understands with absolute clarity is no or its variations like get down, representing the necessary boundaries in your life together. Here we enter delicate territory because cats aren't exactly known for their canine obedience, but that doesn't mean they don't understand when you express disapproval. When your cat is about to do something they shouldn't, like climbing onto the table where you just put dinner or scratching that new expensive couch, a firm no can make a difference. The point is that cats respond much more to the tone of voice and the energy you convey than to the word itself. A no said with conviction, without being yelled or aggressive, communicates to your cat that specific action is not desired. The secret is to be consistent and offer alternatives because cats need to scratch, climb, and explore. These are natural behaviors that cannot simply be suppressed. When you say no to the couch but immediately offer an attractive scratching post, you're teaching your cat that there are better options. Some cats are so clever they develop an interesting game with this word. They look directly at you, slowly extend a paw towards the forbidden object, wait for you to say no, and then retract their paw with an air of, "You didn't get me this time." It's hilarious and frustrating at the same time, but it shows how perfectly they understand what's happening. The important thing is never to use physical punishments or excessive yelling, as this only creates fear and can harm the bond of trust between you. The fifth word that demonstrates cats' selective intelligence is come or here, a true test of wills between you and your feline. Unlike dogs who usually run happily when called, cats carefully evaluate whether it's worth answering your call. This doesn't mean they don't understand, quite the opposite. They understand perfectly and perform a cost-benefit analysis worthy of an economist. If historically, when you call with come, they get a tasty treat, a playtime moment, or that special belly rub only you know how to do just right, their chances of responding increase exponentially. It's fascinating to observe how some cats develop creative responses to this call, such as walking slowly with an air of superiority, as if to say, "I came because I wanted to, not because you told me to." Others insist on taking a full tour of the house before finally approaching, marking their territory and showing who's really in charge. The process of teaching your cat to come when called is an exercise in patience and consistent rewards. Start by calling when they're relatively close, reward generously when they respond, and gradually increase the distance. Some pet parents report hilarious stories of cats who only respond to the call if the magic word is said in a specific tone or accompanied by a particular sound, like the rattling of a treat jar. It's proof that cats not only understand our words, but also the entire context surrounding them. The sixth word that is part of your cat's understood vocabulary is litter box or bathroom, related to that essential piece of furniture in feline life. It might seem strange to think that cats associate words with using the litter box, but the truth is, they are extremely intelligent and observant creatures. If, since they were a kitten, you consistently use these words when taking them to the box or when cleaning it, your cat develops a clear understanding of this association. Cats are naturally clean and organized, so having a specific place for their needs makes perfect sense in their structured world. Some pet parents report that their cats even call them when the box needs to be cleaned, meowing insistently and guiding them to the spot as if to say, "Look at the state of this, do something." The importance of keeping the litter box always clean and accessible cannot be underestimated, as litter box problems are one of the main causes of cat abandonment. When your cat understands that this is the bathroom place and that you always keep this space suitable for them, a healthy routine is established that prevents various behavioral problems. It's interesting to note how cats living in homes with multiple feline bathrooms develop specific preferences. Some only use a certain box for pee-pee and another for poop, demonstrating a level of organization that would surprise many humans. And we arrive at the seventh word, the most hilarious of all, which is ride or vet, capable of making your cat disappear faster than a professional magician. It's absolutely comical and at the same time impressive how cats develop a sixth sense to detect when a vet visit is near. You might be acting as casually as possible, trying to disguise your intentions, but the moment you pick up the carrier or utter the fateful word, your cat simply vanishes. Suddenly, that cat who was deeply asleep on the couch, snoring like an old man, transforms into an invisible ninja, capable of hiding in the most improbable places in the house. I've seen reports of cats hiding inside closed drawers, behind washing machines, on top of unreachable cabinets, and even inside pillowcases. The dramatic reaction doesn't stop there. When they finally manage to capture the fugitive, the protest meows begin, sounding as if the cat is being tortured, the desperate attempts to escape the carrier, and that look of deep betrayal that says, "How could you do this to me?" The funniest part is that many cats start reacting not just to the word, but to any subtle sign that a trip is coming, like you wearing different clothes than usual or grabbing your car keys at an unusual time. Some pet parents try to circumvent this by always leaving the carrier available around the house with treats and toys inside, hoping to create positive associations. But let's be honest, most cats doesn't fall for that trick. The eighth word that resonates in the feline universe is sleep or bed, connected to the sacred ritual of catnaps. Cats are supreme masters in the art of sleeping, dedicating an average of 15 hours a day to this vital activity, and they definitely understand when it's time to go to their special resting place. If your cat has the privilege of sleeping in your bed or has a specific super comfortable cat bed, they associate these words with moments of maximum relaxation. It's fascinating to observe how each cat has its unique sleep preferences. Some seek the highest point in the house to have a privileged view of their territory even while sleeping. Others prefer to burrow under blankets, creating a warm and cozy den. When you establish a consistent routine using these words, like saying bedtime every night before you go to sleep, your cat begins to anticipate and prepare for rest. Some cats develop elaborate rituals before sleeping, such as performing complete grooming, making the chosen spot perfect by kneading it and circling several times before lying down in the ideal position. The most adorable thing is when they choose to sleep in contact with you, whether stretched out along your legs, curled up in the crook of your neck, or shamelessly occupying your entire pillow. This behavior isn't just about physical comfort, but also about emotional security and affectionate bonding, showing that your cat trusts you enough to lower their guard during vulnerable sleep. The ninth and final word that completes our essential feline vocabulary is good boy, good girl, the transformative power of positive praise. When you express genuine approval with enthusiasm in your voice, your cat picks up not only the words, but all the positive energy that accompanies them. It's impressive how cats, despite their reputation for being independent and indifferent, respond remarkably well to positive reinforcement. When your cat uses the scratching post instead of destroying the couch, when they impeccably use the litter box, when they allow you to trim their nails without turning the moment into an epic battle, an enthusiastic compliment makes all the difference. They might not understand the literal meaning of each word, but they perfectly associate the joyful tone of your voice, the extra affection that usually accompanies the praise, and sometimes that special treat that seals the deal. This is the fundamental basis of any attempt at feline training, positively reinforcing desired behaviors and gently ignoring or redirecting undesired ones. Some cats become visibly proud when they receive praise, arching their backs, raising their tail in a question mark shape, and letting out that soft meow that seems to say, "I know I'm amazing." The most important thing is to be genuine in your praise, because cats are experts at detecting falsehood and don't respond well to obvious manipulation attempts. Throughout this journey, exploring the 9 words your cat understands, it becomes evident that our feline companions are much more perceptive and intelligent than the stereotype of indifference suggests. They don't just understand specific words, but they pick up on nuances of tone, body language, context, and even our unverbalized intentions. Every meow, every tail flick, every slow blink is part of a complex language we develop together over time. The 7th word, that hilarious reaction to the vet, reminds us that cats have unique personalities, sharp memories, and the ability to anticipate events based on subtle patterns. Understanding and respecting this feline intelligence completely transforms our relationship with these magnificent beings. It's not about domination or control, but about mutual communication and respect. Your cat isn't just a pet. They're a companion with their own perspective of the world, their individual preferences, their fears and joys. By recognizing and working with these 9 fundamental words, you are building a bridge of understanding that will make your life together more harmonious and rewarding. I hope you've discovered something new about your little feline today and that you use this knowledge to further strengthen the special bond between you. Don't forget to like if this content was useful, comment where you're watching from, and especially share which of these words your cat responds to best, or if there's a secret word only the 2 of you know. The community of cat lovers always has incredible stories to share, and I'm sure yours deserves to be told too. Keep exploring the fascinating feline universe, because there's always something new to learn about these mysterious and adorable companions who chose to share their lives with us. Until the next cat adventure,